Hi everyone! Welcome back to our channel. I am Fnan and that is Asha. We are here to talk about Real Housewives of New Jersey season 13, episode 10. Thanks for joining us. Please let's get started by just liking, commenting, and subscribing to our channel. We appreciate all of you that have been watching. Thanks for dealing with our hectic ass schedules. I think we just dropped our last episode today. I'll be dropping these next two episodes this week. We just came back from Coachella, so we've been running a little behind, but we appreciate y'all sticking with us. So thank you. Let's go ahead and get started. So we're gonna rerun through episode 10, give you our thoughts, and then come back again for episode 11, same outfits, same everything, because we're behind and trying to catch up, all right? All right, so we're gonna start out with episode 10. The episode starts out with Melissa holding an event for Danielle's clothing store pop-up thing called Bougie Kids at Envy, which is cute. It looks like everyone's there to support Jennifer. Not everyone, actually, sorry. It's just Melissa, Danielle, and Jennifer that come for this event. And then just a bunch of people come in to Envy to support for Danielle and Envy, I guess, whatever. Then we get into Jennifer having a one-on-one moment with Melissa and asking if it's okay that Dolores and her are bridesmaids at Teresa's wedding. And she asks if Melissa's okay with this decision, with her decision to not become a bridesmaid. And Melissa says, oh, she's totally fine with Dolores and Jennifer being bridesmaids. She's happy for them. And she doesn't regret not becoming a bridesmaid because of her prior reasons before. And it's weird because like in her confessional, she plays victim, like she's like acting like she's being completely excluded from the wedding. I know at first Teresa didn't have her or did not want her to be a bridesmaid just because they weren't close, but eventually Teresa felt like, you know what, I'm gonna invite her to be a bridesmaid. And so it's weird that Melissa's trying to act like she's being super excluded. I understand that maybe Melissa wanted it to happen at first thought and not as a second thought, because who wants to be invited last minute to something? Like it just feels like a pity type of thing. So I get that, but I just do not appreciate that she's acting like very victim here in her confessional. Then we get into Danielle. Danielle ends up coming up to Melissa, and then Melissa asks Danielle about Rachel. And Danielle calls Rachel a rat for sharing her confidential conversation that she had with Rachel to Marge. I can't believe that we're still on this. And she's upset that she didn't really take full accountability for bringing up that conversation to Marge. I just feel like Danielle is mad that she got caught up in this. And she feels like Rachel should be in this brought down too, because Rachel was having the conversation as well. I don't know. And then we get into, so that wraps up. Then we get into the girls getting ready to go to Ireland. Looks like Dolores booked a castle for the girls to stay in. And we get into Teresa wanting to go to the trip with good vibes. Of course, she's saying this because the last time she was with the girls, it was before she had COVID. And it was when she had that conversation with Melissa and Joe, and it just didn't turn out very good. It's a very negative experience. So she wants to go to the trip with good vibes and doesn't want to start anything with Melissa. That's like her goal at Ireland.
It was also when Teresa told Jackie, shut the fuck up.
Yes.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yes, sorry. The most important part.
You're gonna go on a trip with her now?
Yes. And then I guess Melissa, and then we get into Melissa also getting ready to go to Ireland. It says that it's going to be weird to see Trey since the last time they spoke with Joe. She says that. And then Jennifer shares that she wants to stay away from Margaret. And she ends up having a conversation with Bill about how she wants him to be more present in the family and to kind of give up the whole house and hang out with the family more often. So yeah, that's the end of like scene 1. But what were your thoughts about all of that? If you had any.
I think Melissa is a fake ass bitch because I mean we been knew this WBK we been know, but like this is very fake because okay, I understand she wants to be a part of, or she wanted at first to be a part of Teresa's wedding. But I was agreeing with Jennifer, was like, if you want things to get better, even if it's not the olive branch that you may do or the olive branch that you would, you know, give out, Teresa is trying by asking you to be a bridesmaid. She doesn't even like your ass. So she doesn't have to ask you, period. But like, you keep making a big fucking deal about it. And so she invited you, and you're like, well, now, no, it's like a half ass thing. Okay, that's fine. You can feel that way. Whatever. You said no, blah, blah, blah. Stop talking about how upset you are in your confessionals that she didn't ask you. She doesn't like you. So I don't understand. Like, I'm
Yeah.
learning with like families that it's okay to have people in your family that you don't like. I think Teresa was doing something really big and even asking her to be a bridesmaid because it's like, bitch, I don't even like you. And I'm doing this because, you know, I love my brother and I love the connection. I'm just assuming that's what like Teresa was going through her head. Like, I love my brother. Don't love you, but I love my brother. The connection our kids have, like, there's a lot more behind it, but I feel like Melissa wasn't wanting to accept it, and that's fine. So it's like, okay, well, let's just move on. Um, I don't think that Danielle, given where they're from and how like how big that word is, she shouldn't have called Rachel a rat. Like they act as if they're in the mafia with this kind of word. And I'm like, you guys aren't like in the mob or anything. Like it's not a big deal. But like also, even just here being on the West Coast, I wouldn't like to be called a rat. But here we call it a snitch. But
Yeah.
that's really if like someone is like not telling, like not it's not like talking shit. Like that's not really what Rachel was doing either. Like I see it as Rachel was just giving information to her friend. Should she have done it? No. Like she could have been totally fine without doing that, and then like her and Danielle would be okay. But that's not what keeps the story going. She has to tell Margaret. And I just think Danielle is like wrong in calling her a rat because I was like, well, like she didn't really like rat you out. Like she just like gave information and like she just literally reported what you said, like the words that came out of your mouth. Um,
Yeah.
it's not like she was like telling on you or anything like that. She just like gave that I don't know. I guess I don't see it in the way that like
Yeah, I think Danielle thinks that Rachel is being messy, and I don't know. I think she thinks that her image is tarnished within the group now because Rachel shared that information,
do you
which
think
is
Rachel's
kind of
messy?
tea. I don't know because I don't know if I recall this correctly, but like I remember Marge asking Rachel, "Hey, did someone tell you that someone has Arsenal or that I have Arsenal on folks?" And then Rachel just was like, "Yeah, I had a conversation with Danielle about this." Like, I feel like it just wasn't, this information wasn't just offered to Marge, it was asked.
It was
And I
asked.
don't, right? But maybe I am recalling it incorrectly.
I'm trying to remember if we even saw that conversation between Rachel and Marge. Like I feel like we did.
We did, but I just don't remember how it happened. But
Yeah.
I don't think Rachel was being malicious about it at all. And I feel I understand where Danielle is coming from because it's like if you and I have a conversation about something, like you, me, Asha, like if you and I had a conversation about something, like a confidential conversation, like and well, maybe I didn't make it clear that it was confidential because I don't think Danielle did. But if you and I had a conversation with somebody and you told that person, I'd be like, why the fuck did you do that, Asha?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
I
understand
get
where
it.
Danielle is coming from, but you know, when you see how Rachel delivered the information, it wasn't in a messy,
It wasn't in like a malicious way.
particular way. Yeah.
Yeah, she wasn't trying to like shit on Danielle because she likes Danielle. So
Hmm.
like why would she try to like ruin
But
friendship?
right, but you know, I think Rachel even apologized. She was like, "Hey, like I didn't want this to become this, and I'm sorry." I think she said that, but obviously you have to side eye Rachel after that, right? Like, because
I
if
think
you did that, I'd be like, "What the fuck?" Now I'm not gonna tell you shit,
yeah.
or I'd be like, "You promise you're not gonna say anything," you know? Like I don't know, like
Right. But
the trust is not as it was.
it seems as though like Rachel is more loyal to Margaret and like
Yeah, that's
there's
true.
you shouldn't be you're new. So why do you have any loyalties? And I mean, I guess Danielle does too, but Danielle's
Mm,
on the right team. So that's why I'm not really giving a fuck much as to whose side she's taking because she's on the right.
yeah.
But like Rachel, like I saw a comment in Reddit today in one of like the discussion threads for this episode, and it was like, why does Rachel care so much if people don't like Margaret or like people don't want to talk to Margaret? Like people have their own reasons, and
Yeah.
I'm just not really
It's weird. It's
in it.
getting weird. And
Yeah,
I'm not sure how I feel about it. Like I see it from both sides. I can't pick one side right now.
I'm definitely not on Marge's side. That's for sure. She's
I'm actually like really not on anyone's side. Jennifer clicked down on this episode for me. Um and the last one too. Like none of these bitches are my daughters anymore. Um wait, did you have anything else? Should we move on?
oh
Okay, cool.
well,
Okay.
I think Louis too just saying,
Oh,
like I can't talk to your family anymore. Like it's just like really hard for me and Joe to like connect.
I missed that.
Yeah, like I remember that too. Like Louis and Trey were just talking about like the whole thing with Joe, and like Louis just like I can't talk to Joe. Like it seems like every time we talk, like it doesn't go anywhere. And Trey's like, babe, you don't deserve that. Like good vibes and stuff. It's bullshit. Like I think it's toxic on both sides. Like Louis, you're not really helping the situation because like you have not been around for the last like 2 decades since this has been going on, and like you're not you're new to this, like you're super new to this, and you're trying to fix all these issues that like maybe Teresa and Joe have had even before he was with Melissa, like
Mhm.
like just stuff from their childhood, or maybe something to do with Joe Judice. Like there's way more layers to it, and I just think Louis like way in over his head trying to alleviate and like solve the problems, because like half of the problem, even though I love her, is your wife. I'm gonna be completely real and honest. Like half of the problem is your wife. Like
Yes.
yes, we don't like Joe and Maluser, but at the same time, like I've seen it in like past seasons, and I'm a Trey stan, but I've seen it in past seasons where I'm like, not them making sense. I was like, not them making sense. Like I was like, I
Yeah.
kind of understand your point of view. Normally I don't, because I feel like they
Yeah.
just fucking hate on Teresa, and Teresa's always the bad guy. But they feel the other way. They're like, oh, the Gorgos are always bad guys. I'm like, you guys are most of the time. But there are times when you're not. And I feel like Louis only like obviously he's only heard Teresa's side. So like
Mhm.
he's gonna stick up for Teresa and like be on that side. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was interesting that they were like nervous about, seeing each other too. I would be nervous. Like I'd be nervous if I was Jackie because Teresa just told me to shut the fuck up. And then I'd be nervous if I was Melissa because Teresa starts issues and then she'll be like, well, if Melissa did this, well, maybe if Melissa showed up to that, well, maybe if Melissa, like, it's just like, it'll never end. And
Mhm.
so I would feel kind of nervous going into that trip as Melissa too, just because it's like, are we gonna have a good trip, or is it gonna be Teresa blames Melissa for every fucking thing?
Okay, because it's a shit show.
Right?
It is, yeah.
And that's all I gotta say about that.
Period. All right, so the next scene is pretty quick. So the girls are starting out to fly out to Ireland. One thing I noticed is Jackie is the only one that's flying first class. All the other bitches are bums and they're flying economy.
Really? I didn't notice
7
that.
chops to everybody. You could see she was sitting in first class. I know you could tell what a first class.
No, I know. I didn't pay attention to that part.
Oh, you could,
That's
yeah,
funny.
she was sitting first class by herself, and everybody else was
Coke.
literally in economy. 7 chops to everybody
You
except
guys are all
for
gross.
Jackie, because y'all are broke. Jackie was like, I'm too rich to be
I love
sitting
how
in
like
economy.
we hated to like Jackie's nasty room when they showed it, like after the guys came back from boys' night, and
Oh, it was just so boring and bland,
it was
yeah.
boring. Yeah, and then like Teresa has like the biggest house and like the most acres and stuff, yet Teresa's in coach. What are you doing? Get your ass up
Let's,
there, Jackie.
yeah, so you can have, so I don't chop you. Anyways, okay, so, all right, so the girls make it to Ireland. They're on a bus on the way to a 400-year-old castle. Um, and then they start having a conversation about, and then they just start having conversations on the bus. One thing that was interesting that was happening on the bus was Jen Fessler ended up sharing that she was a talent agent and she slept with Tony Soprano, which is what's his name in real life?
James Gandolfini.
Yes, she slept with him. And all of the girls were like, "Oh my god,
They
like
were
he was
eating it
in
up.
you?" Like they were eating it. They were eating that up. Like
Was in you. And Jennifer, I honestly, Jennifer Fessler's fucking funny because
she
like
is.
she was
She
explaining
is.
in
She's gonna
her
become my daughter, actually.
when she was explaining in her confessional, like she was like, yeah, like it was great. She's like, he was always the one that got away, but also he was the one that was never really there.
Like she's so funny, bro. She's like one of the funniest.
I was
Yeah.
dead. And then yeah, like when she was explaining that, and we are going on Reddit and people were like, losers were like, doesn't it like affect Jennifer like how his kids will see that? No, it happened before he had kids. So
Wait, what happened?
people were upset because they thought
Oh.
Jennifer was disrespecting James because he passed away like a while ago.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, why are you talking about this? Like, don't you have any respect for his wife and kids? This happened before he had a wife and kids. So I think I'm allowed to talk about my past experiences. Like, that's what I thought. Like when I saw that comment, I was like, I want to hear about this. Like,
Like what?
not everyone gets to fuck Tony Soprano.
This
And
this is
it's
like one of the most interesting things that has happened this fucking season.
and I
Shut
feel
the
like if
fuck
it was
up.
a real big deal, like anyone that mentions James Gandolfini's name would have like a cease and desist sent to them or like something like that. And like I don't think that happened to Jen. So
No,
we're good.
it's
And she's allowed to
fine.
talk about what she wants to talk about. People just love to be upset for no reason.
She's
And
allowed to talk about who all the men that she slept with.
when she was a talent agent. And that was funny because like when she was explaining stuff with James, she's like, but he was definitely inside me. I was like,
More
hey,
than once.
I believe you. You don't need to say all that. Like I believe you.
No, but she can though. Like I love that.
She
Like
can't.
that was like one of the most
It
fun
was
things that has happened in this season of New
it
Jersey
was
to me.
yeah, it was really funny. Like I was dead.
Uh, and I think that's pretty much it that happens in this scene. And I don't know. I don't really like the castle. I think it's kind of scary looking inside. Like it's beautiful on the outside.
Love to
Like
see it
it sounds great
in theory.
in theory,
In
but to
practice,
actually do it in practice, like no, I'm good. Um, yeah. I would rather stay in the Airbnb in my opinion, or like a nice
At a
little
hotel.
hotel.
Like, yeah, like a bread and breakfast or something. Like, I don't
Yeah.
understand why I'm in this nasty ass
Dolores
smelly castle with like haunted
smells
pork.
like bacon, is what she said. One of the girls said.
I don't
Like
want to stay anywhere where it
that's
smells like
that's a chop.
bacon should only be smelling in the morning. It shouldn't be
Yes,
wafting
breakfast.
throughout the castle. Like,
Right.
ugh.
Do you have anything to say about that scene?
The only other thing I can think about, just like with Fezler, was when she was like said that she was like really upset when James passed away, and her husband had to tell her like, "I'm your husband. Like
I
you're
did
married,
not pay
not in a
attention to that
relationship
part.
with him." Yeah, it was really funny. Like she said that she was like heartbroken when he passed away because he passed away like suddenly, and it was of a heart attack, I think. So,
Ah, sad.
really sad. He's a good actor too. And yeah, like he said that like that's why. She was like really sad about it and her husband's like, "Ma'am, like I'm your man.
Hello.
I don't know why you're crying over like old dick." It's just
It was the
funny.
one that got away.
And the
But
one that was never
it
really there.
but yeah, so let her live. Shit. It's not like she can get with him anymore. Rest in
Yeah,
peace.
you don't have to worry about it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I totally agree with you. I would have definitely stayed at an Airbnb. And I mean, like, it's a once in a lifetime thing to like sleep in a castle. But again, like, I
I'm
don't
good.
know it's once in a lifetime things
I'm good. Like that needs a remodel.
badly.
Like, I don't know.
Fucking weird
Anyways,
portraits out.
yeah, I'm good. Okay, so we get into the girls. Okay, the next scene happens. This is a lot that happens here, according to my notes. Okay, so the girls are eating lunch, and I don't know why Dolores says this, but she ends up saying, like, hey, we're not in Jersey anymore. I need you guys to calm down.
Chill.
She doesn't want what happened at the coffee reading to happen again here in Ireland. And I think it's probably because, like, they're about to meet Dolores' family and she wants everybody to be respectful, which I feel like the girls will be respectful in front of your family. Don't worry. They know how to like be
Act up,
respectful.
but also, who
But
knows?
also, yeah. Okay, so I thought it was very funny that Dolores would be saying this because Dolores has literally almost gotten into several physical altercations in her time span of being on New Jersey. Literally last season, this bitch almost fought Jackie. What else did she do? She almost got into a physical altercation with Danielle. She
Danielle.
almost got into a physical altercation with Jennifer.
She almost got into
Like
a physical
Dolores,
altercation with
shut
Melissa,
up.
from like the whole posh thing because she like
Oh
got
yeah, that's right.
so. Man, we
Yeah,
have way many more examples of
you have
you
almost.
acting.
So for you to be like, I need you guys to like chill out because we're not in Jersey, girl.
Not calling the kettle
I need
black.
you to kill. I need you to stop that. I needed. Sorry, I had to like gather my daughter for a
Oh,
second.
but it makes sense because like I totally agree. Like I would understand it if it was like Melissa saying that because Melissa doesn't try to like get into like physical altercations. But also it's not Melissa's trip.
No, she almost did. Remember when she was almost about to fight Jennifer? When Jennifer.
Oh please. That was nothing. That was
I know
not
she's full of shit. It was happened
shit.
like twice, but still. Anyways, okay, so that happens. Then I guess Margaret starts sharing. Oh, Margaret starts sharing that Jennifer shouldn't have downloaded the person with the cups information before. So I guess this comes up out because Dolores was like, I don't want what happened at the coffee reading to happen again here in Ireland. And then Margaret starts putting blame on Jennifer about the whole thing because Jennifer
Jennifer was wrong.
did download the coffee reading person of information, even though she was like trying to deny
When
it
she
like the whole
lied.
time at the table. And then Margaret asked outright, or no, not even Margaret. Teresa outed it.
Yeah.
Teresa was like, yeah, Jennifer did say that she talked to the therapist before, and she said that she fought Margaret, but that was the only thing that she said. Like Teresa, like you're supposed to defend Jennifer here, but
Also,
you
like,
literally outed her. And then eventually Jennifer owns it, but she said she never shared anything
Oh, Laura.
coffee reader about her friend Laura. Marge doesn't believe it. Then Danielle, I don't know, all of a sudden asks what Laura said to Jennifer. And then Marge is like freaking out and just hates that Laura is being brought up here. Like you can see her like
She's seething.
veins popping, like
Yeah.
she's seething, like literally, like
She
very,
hates
it
that
looks like
Marge
she's
is
very
brought up.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't know what Jennifer knows. And she would love to know what Jennifer knows.
She would.
So that's what happens in that scene. Um, do you have anything to say about that? I feel like we
I mean, I think it's just kind of funny that like Jennifer was trying to lie about it. And
yeah, if it wasn't like, I don't know why Jennifer is so, this is what I'm saying, like she clicked down so bad in this episode that like
I
she's
mean, I
not my
guess she
daughter
owned it,
anymore.
but like also she like didn't own it for like all of the last episode, and then
Yeah.
I feel like they were like endorsements. Like, where the fuck did she get that word? And then Jen's like, "What are you talking about? Like, she just read the coffee cup and all black." And I was like, "But Jennifer, like that's like a pretty
That
that
is
word
not a
doesn't
word
come
that
up
you
often."
use.
Like, and it's like it's also a word that literally Marge just said. So like that doesn't look good. And then yeah, like I was like, well, it's cool that you finally, but like she was just still giving us like I feel like she did say something about Laura, but she wasn't gonna be like, oh yeah, I didn't say anything about Laura. Like the psychic knew her shit. Like she talked about Laura. I was like, bitch, you mentioned Laura. You mentioned that you were fighting with Margaret, so you have to bring the whole thing with Laura up. And like, I don't know, I guess like trying to make Marge look bad, which honestly, Marge doesn't need help with that. She can look bad all on her own.
Yeah, Jennifer's being, she's clicking down so bad in this episode. Like, all right, so did you have any other thoughts? Because I don't have any thoughts because she just pissed me off so bad that I don't even have anything to say. All right, so we get to the next scene. Jennifer, I guess the next scene is still a continuation of what's happening here at lunch. But Jennifer loves that she has this hold on Margaret because of this Laura information. She knows that Margaret's uncomfortable, and it's just super enjoyable for her to see Margaret seething.
Yeah,
Um,
me too.
um, and then so the lunch is finished. Margaret storms off. And the girls are starting to get ready for the bachelorette party. And one thing I noticed is like, why is Danielle dressed up like she's going to Coachella? Like, why are you wearing a bandana and like a green jumpsuit? Like,
Maybe it's dusty out there.
7 more chops, Danielle.
Mm.
All right, so Danielle gets into Jennifer's room and asks Jennifer, what information does Jennifer have on Marge? Because she really wants to know it. Jennifer tries to act coy and acts like she doesn't want to say what she knows because the same kind of thing was done with her family.
Mhm.
But then she eventually shares it, and I swear to God, like Jennifer's doing whatever she can to like not smile, but like she's literally smiling as she says it. She's like being a demon. But she eventually shares that Marge told Laura that Melissa was making out in the backseat of a car with a guy. And Danielle was just shocked, obviously. And I just feel like this was so plotted. Like Jennifer had this plotted so long ago. And then Danielle thinks that this is why Margaret is upset with her because she has an arsenal. And it's true.
It is
And
true.
that's why Marge is really, really upset with her. That she's sharing like that she's talking shit about someone that she doesn't. Marge is really upset that someone that she doesn't know is talking shit about her and like calling out her shit.
You can like see and tell that, and you may not agree with me, and that's fine. You may not agree with me, that's fine. but you can see how like pressed Margaret and Jackie are about Danielle and about this thing. And I personally feel it's because they know that Danielle is about to get asked back for another season. And honestly, I think like comparing them like both, like Rachel and Danielle, I feel like we're like 11 episodes in. So I think I like Danielle more as like a housewife on this show than I do Rachel, but I like her more just because like Rachel is like I see Rachel as like a lackey, like a sidekick. Like she's not giving. She's not giving to me like what Danielle's giving. Danielle's like beefing with the other housewives, like the other people that have been there for a second, whereas like Rachel's beefing with Danielle. That's boring. Like you're beefing with the new housewife. The other housewife is beefing with the old ones, even the ones that are friends of. And I don't feel like they're threatened by Danielle, but I feel like well she's about to stay because she's doing a good job. And shit. And she's on Teresa's side. I like people that are on Teresa's side. I feel like they stay a while because like Jennifer's been on this show for a while. Dina came back. Danielle Danielle goes off and on being on Teresa's side. I remember like in season well like I think it was season 9 or 8, the one where they had the posh fashion show, and Danielle and Kim were like fighting, and Danielle's like, I've been on Teresa's bad side before, and let me just tell you, I need to stay on this side, the good side. So like, yeah, and like Jacqueline stayed for a long time too, being Teresa's friend. It's just like I feel like when you're on Teresa's side, it's longevity. That's just how I feel. And like I just feel like Marge, yeah, like I agree with you. Like Marge is upset that this person that she doesn't really know knows something about her, or like is upset that like she's hearing things about her, but they're all true. So that's why she's worried. And it's like, well, do you even want to be Danielle's friend? Like, do you care about like Danielle being in your life? If so, what if you don't, then who the fuck cares if she's talking about you? Or who cares if like she's heard these things about you? I don't know. I just think it's like kind of dumb. Like, why are you so pressed about what a new housewife feels? It's because you're just a tiny bit stressed out, tiny bit threatened. Just a little bit. It's not like Marge is going, but I just feel like you're just press. Chill out.
Yeah. I mean, I understand where Marge is coming from. Like, some new bitch is talking shit about me and she don't even know me. But she's spilling tea about you and you don't like it, and that's making you uncomfortable. But it is a character assassination that she is kind of going through when she's telling a newbie. She's not really giving Margaret a fair chance, I guess.
Chance. Yeah, I can agree with that.
So I get that in a sense, but because I know how Marge moves, like I don't care. I don't care. Oh, something that I missed in sharing what happened in that scene. Jennifer, when Laura shared that Melissa made out with a guy in the backseat of a car, Jennifer shared that when Teresa heard it, she believed it, and it made her very, 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 very upset. Like she had to like storm out of wherever they were staying at.
Yeah.
Because it just made her really upset and disgusted, which I find interesting because like maybe like that's one of the reasons why she didn't want to have Melissa as a bridesmaid. And this is also something Danielle had brought up as well. So interesting. Did you have anything else to say about that scene? Because I don't have anything really else to say. Okay. Cool. All right, so we move on to the next scene. The girls start heading out to dinner for Teresa's bachelorette party. Danielle has an idea to snap a pic of her chest area to send to Joe to confirm, Joe Gorga, Melissa's man, to confirm whether he knows Melissa's boobs. Okay. And I just thought that it was very stupid. And she just was like, oh, I did this just because of what I know from what Jennifer shared with me. And it looks like he knows Melissa's boobs.
That's good.
Okay, cool, whatever.
I'd be
Danielle is
embarrassed if
like,
he didn't.
I'm sorry, Danielle is like clicking down for me. Anyways, I know that's your daughter. She's not mine.
Is my daughter.
Fessler asks what made Teresa ask Dolores and Jennifer to be a bridesmaid. She shares that she was nervous about making them the bridesmaids, but the reason why she wanted them to be the bridesmaids was because they were the most supportive of Louis and her,
Yeah.
which is tea. They were. But she was very nervous because of her brother, and what he would say, which is just like, oh my God. And then this sparks more Melissa versus Teresa stuff.
We love.
And
love
then Melissa's like, why would Joe care about that when you didn't even make me a bridesmaid? And then Teresa also brings up, well, if Joe would have told me to invite his mother-in-law, I would have invited her. And Melissa was like, well, that's not what you had said to the girls though when you said there was a history, which is tea. Like when all of the girls asked why you didn't invite her, you didn't say
there was a history.
you forgot. You said that there was a history. So Melissa clocked that tea. So I'm gonna give her that. And then Teresa's like, yeah, there was a history. And then she was like, okay, well, if there's a history, you and I have a history too. We weren't talking. And then Jennifer pipes in like a fucking loser. She's just like, oh yeah, well, you were invited by obligation to the wedding. And it's just like, Jennifer, why would you say something like that? You're trying to make this relationship between Melissa and Teresa worse. Shut up.
And you're
Shut
friends with Melissa.
the
Like you could be like getting
fuck
along
up.
with Melissa now. Like, what are you doing?
Like, yeah, she's pissing me off. But that's what happened in that scene. Maybe I'll just go over the next scene because it's not that much. So then Marge is like, wait, you said what now? And then all of the girls were like saying, you said what now? Because, Jennifer has her foot in her fucking mouth. And Teresa's like, listen, I don't need your help, Jennifer. I got this. And Melissa just ends up saying, like, I just don't understand why you wouldn't have invited my mother-in-law or my mother in the first place. Like, it shouldn't have been mentioned by my brother. Like, you should have just done it just based off of love and respect for my family. And Teresa's just like, listen, if you would have called or he would have called, I would have done it. And neither of them can be accountable for their behavior. They can't understand that. Like, I feel like if I didn't invite, well, first off, I would never not invite my mother-in-law into a wedding. Like, my partner's mother-in-law. Wait, no.
I'm not inviting my partner's mother-in-law.
Wait, no, not your partner's mother-in-law.
It's my brother's mother-in-law. I'm not inviting my brother's mother-in-law. I'm sorry, I don't like you. I don't know you. This is my wedding.
Yeah, but if you like, I don't know. If you like them, you would invite them. But I guess if you don't like them, you don't invite them. You forget. It's not priority.
It's
not priority.
That's like exactly what's not clicking in Melissa's head. It's like, Melissa, she doesn't like your mom. She doesn't like your sisters. She doesn't like you. Like, that's what are you not getting? Like, she's not gonna invite people that she doesn't like. And I feel like that's so clear. And Melissa's still like, I just don't understand. Like, you guys are stupid. You're morons. Because why would she invite someone that she doesn't like? If you're not invited, maybe you should take a step back and be like, she doesn't like me. Why would you want to go to a wedding of someone that doesn't like you anyway? Like, like Melissa's like fighting so hard about the bridesmaids thing and like not being asked to be a part of it. And it's like, you're fighting so hard to be a part of something, be a part of an event of someone who does not like you. Does not work with you. Like, you're the weird one.
Yeah.
Sorry,
It's really annoying to just have to hear this. It could, like Dolores had said in her confessional, listen, what you should have done, Melissa, is call Teresa to invite her. If Teresa says no, then that's an actual problem. Period. If you can't just harbor these feelings and not communicate these feelings to Teresa because she has no fucking idea. She's literally planning the wedding of her life. Like she's in love with Louis. Like literally just she is busy and your mother-in-law is
You're worried
not
about you. Yeah, you're worried
important
about you.
in this
Yeah.
thing here.
You're worried about your mom. Like, doesn't your sisters don't like Teresa, so why do they want an invite? Or like why are they upset about it? I understand the mom. Like moms have like a different level of respect. Like
especially because her dad and mom were
especially since
super
no
cool.
and her were super close. Like I get that. Totally. Like that makes a lot of sense to me. The sisters, you bitches were talking shit about Teresa. You guys don't like Teresa and she doesn't like you. So that therefore you didn't see an RSVP in your mailbox. And I think it's just like still I'm so over it with like if you would have done this because it's like okay, let's say she called you. You really would have invited her? Like come on, you're lying, Teresa. Don't make me take Melissa.
If Joe did, she would.
If Joe called her, I believe that he would have been like she would have been invited. But Melissa, I feel like Teresa would have seen it like.
What's she called?
Hey y'all. Very weird that I'm putting this in here, but we had some technical difficulties, so we had to end that video. But here I am trying to end this video and I'm having a hard time with doing that. But yes, thank you all for watching the video before. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe today. Please
Like
comment
now.
with us. Like we need it. Like we need you to comment. We need to hear what you have to say. We accept all kinds of feedback. You can even hate on us. Haters are our motivators. That's fine. Like if we're not doing anything right if we have no haters. So you can hate on us. Just don't be out of pocket. Like don't say kill yourself or anything like that. Like because then you've got
evil.
Problems. That's actually like wrong.
And it's actually like not that serious to tell us to kill ourselves.
It's never that serious to do that. But yeah, just don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe today. And thank you for watching. And we'll be back again here shortly with another video. So thanks everyone. Bye.
Bye.